Hey guys, what's up? I've got a 15-minute game up against somebody rated 1465. This is the second video I've tried to make for you guys because the first one I played an unrated game against somebody rated 800 who cheated. Played perfect chess in the opening and in the middle game, and so the weird thing is it was an unrated game. There was absolutely no point in cheating, but there we go. So yeah, I looked at the game report. They played 1700 level, which you cannot do when you're 800 rated. You cannot do it for 40 moves anyway. So, so this is the Englund Gambit declined. And now we have e3. e3 is an odd move because it blocks in this bishop. Now d6 is very natural. f5, knight f6 all look good. Knight f6 is good. The question is, do I have time? If I push f5, the queen can't come out to h5 because of this, so I think we're okay. Because then g6 would hit the queen and defend the pawn on f5. So I think the right thing to do here is to grab this control over the 5th rank, or my 5th rank, white's 4th rank. Okay, now d6 again looks natural. This pawn is undefended and under attack, so why not? And obviously I can't defend it with my knight there, and I couldn't defend it with my knight to d7 because the pawn was still there. Alright, now I think knight f6 will follow. I then have options of castling either side. My light squared bishop is a little bit uncomfortable, but something I very often do in these Englund Gambit decline when they push d5 is actually push pawn to c6 and try and contest this pawn. And there we go. I could actually do that right now. If pawn takes, he's taking away from the center I'm taking towards, so I don't see any problem with that. And takes, and now this is defended by my knight. And look, I have all the central power. This is good. Again, knight f6, again, short castles, I think looks fine. This is actually a rated game. This is a 6-10 for me. I'm kind of expecting the bishop just to fall back to a4. Queen a5 check. Knight comes to here. Maybe knight f6 now. So I'm thinking knights, taking that, the pawn's the only defender of these, this looks okay. Okay. So I'd love to be able to prevent this move, because it really is the only way to prevent losing material with a check and a fork on the bishop. How do we do that? Okay. Well, you're not coming in there or there. I can castle now. Is there any way to dislodge this knight? I don't know. The thing is, white can just castle straight out of trouble as well. This just doesn't work right now. I think castles make sense now. And I'm kind of liking my position. I'm castled. I've got 2 pieces developed. But I have an active rook on f8. Opponent has 3 pieces developed. I have no b pawn to harass this bishop. Does that make any sense? Not really. The knight is the only defender of this, so again, also this bishop is kind of tying down my knight. So we need a plan now. I think queen b6 looks okay. It kind of has an eye on that pawn. But my hunch about the game is, well, I guess we're kind of balanced. It's not like I'm so used to playing gambits where I'm down a pawn and I need to keep the initiative up. Bishop d7's an idea. Hang on, so the queen's looking at this pawn. It's defended only by the bishop right now. Let's play queen here for now. Even bishop b7, with the idea of maybe if these pawns move at some point, if the c pawn moves, I'm going to have eyes down the long diagonal. Not worried about this, not worried about any of these moves. Just need to keep an eye on this pawn. Do you think d5? What I don't want to do is weaken this centre. I've got amazing control over quite a few squares here. Is that your plan, man? If so, I've got time to get away. Knight still defends that, so we're not worried. I'm thinking, yeah, something's just... I think bishop b7 also leaves this square available for the knight. So now we've got two defenders on this pawn. And this bishop is... I mean, it's got a check there, actually. No reason to play king h8 now. I can also push the pawn. Kind of liking this. Maybe knight here. Bishop defends that. Push the pawns up in the middle, maybe. I mean, do I want to play e4 and dislodge this knight? It's a thought. Okay, that means the king's the only defender of the f2 pawn. I think just developing the knight is a logical move. This is a 15-minute no increment here, so the clock could come into play. We're both on 11 minutes and change. I think black is a little better. I think my control over the centre is good. And I think that this weakish bishop... I mean, a5, a4 might even be a plan. Bishop will drop back to a2 then. I might just play king h8 at some point. So I've been quite happy with my blitz play recently. I've just dipped under 1500 a couple of times, but I'm now pretty much holding my own over 1500 at blitz, which is something I've never really managed to do before. So quite happy about that. Big question is about e4 here. Am I concerned about this square? You know, every time you push a pawn, you relinquish control over other squares. I'm expecting b4 at some point, to be honest. Opponent's under 10 minutes now. Well, that's a bit of a surprise. He's looking at this undefended pawn here. Also puts two attackers on here. So if I take and pawn takes, I'd push e4, probably. I can't take because it hangs the queen. He's got two attackers on here now. It actually has two defenders, three defenders, technically. So we're not doing too bad there. Or I could just push and push. That creates a light squared pawn wall. But if I do that, are you going to get f3? Takes, takes. I think that's okay. I think that's my idea. Create this light squared pawn chain. Really neutralizes that developed bishop. This bishop is still undeveloped, as is the rook. I think I'm all right with this pawn structure. f4 might come at some point. Obviously not immediately because it's gets sniped. Maybe even think about some kind of kingside attack. This bishop may yet have a roll here. But d5 is kind of my default. Opponent's nearly down to 9 minutes now. He took 1 minute 29 over his previous move and then 2.3 seconds. But the moves before that, 43 seconds, 34 seconds, 129. He's really chewing up a lot of time now. But it's much nicer than thinking your opponent's cheating, which is just tiresome and tedious, guys. Okay, my first thought is here. Now, I'm not worried about this move because I have d5. But I'm inclined to push d5 anyway and just de-encourage these kinds of ideas. I understand the word de-encourage is not a word. It came from an old, well, pretty old now, British comedy show called The Day Today, back in the 90s, I think. Okay, we have an undeveloping knight. Looks like he wants to sneak into there. Now, if I play queen here, it means I don't get that square, isn't it? Okay, what else has changed here? Bishop could also go there. I could put the question to the bishop. In fact, I think this is okay. Now that I know that this guy is quarantined over the wrong side of the board, for now. Ooh, g5. Does that actually... Hang on. g5 bishop retreats here. I think wins material. I think it does. He might... If he comes in there... I can take. I win a pawn. Again, his only remaining bishop is then out of the game. We really are playing Space Invaders now, aren't we? Look at this. Beam, 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 beam. Look at my pawnage. I'm not usually the one to shove pawns, especially my pawns around my king, but... Oh! You snuck away, did you? Sneaky. Okay. Let's say what happens if we attack bishop. Bishop has this square. I want to get away. So I'm thinking, like, rook a8, hit the bishop. Bishop goes there. Yeah? Which takes off this diagonal. And then, can my queen go here? Maybe not. Maybe I need to lift my rook, something like that. I'm uncomfortable about having two high value pieces on that diagonal right there. Lifty lift to here. F4 at some point. F4, F3. Knight here, queen here. So if queen here now, they've got bishop there, which vexes me. So let's do this idea. Get the rook on maybe g7. Maybe get my knight here, and then the queen can temporarily go there. Then, if that's the final move, and they do that, then it's too late. I get to capture. I don't want to start preparing it the wrong way around and be kicked away. Guess we do have queen back to one of these, to be honest, but why spend more than one move if you can do it in one move? And what's this about? Don't get that at all. Okay, knight in, queen here. Unless you're planning some kind of strike. Okay, I think knight in though. I think it's time. My opponent is now under 7 minutes. I'm on 8:12. So the clock matters. I don't get this move unless it's preparing c4. Okay. And this is a concession, like I often say. Think we just have to come back. Still ready for this. I might even get my bishop here and start eyeing up h3. There we go. There's a c4 move, which is not a great surprise to anyone. And if takes, just takes. And I could even put my bishop here. So I'm not too bothered. Okay, knight, knight, knight looks good. Is that knight doing anything right now? Not really. Let's improve it. Notice this pawn is undefended right now. This knight could actually swing around as well. They could both be looking at that square. Something like this, maybe rook b8. Feels odd having a lifted rook. Okay, what's that? What are you doing? Are you going to push? Okay, I'm going to develop this knight up to there now. Here, I could actually put my queen here. Then if knight takes, what queen takes, something like this. Get the bishop there, push the pawn. I don't know. I mean, this is still quite an attractive move. Pawn to f4. Really is then just like turning the screw, isn't it? Also opens up this bishop potentially, because this bishop's doing nothing right now. It may have a job if opponent captures on d5. I play c takes d5. Ooh, hello. So he's looking at this pawn. I can't play my knight to here. I might play my knight back. It's kind of retrograde here, but it means he can't go there because of my rook. Okay, now takes, bishop defends. Oh, bishop also defends. It's the only defender of the rook as well. So if he trades rooks now, ouch, ouch, ouch. That was good. Okay, now, if I take, oh man, oh, bugger. If I take the rook, he takes on there and I'm going to lose another rook. So do I do this? That was annoying. I just simply wasn't. I got that far. I thought I'd just recapture and my bishop defends and that's it. But what I didn't realise is the bishop is overstretched. Right, well I'm going to have to that, and I think we just have to suck this up. Okay, so I'm down a rook for a couple of pawns, I think. Am I? And then I've got three. No, I'm down an exchange and a pawn. Okay. Now we have to take stock, but opponents on 4 minutes 30. And that was a good tactical sequence from them. Can't push this, it undefends that pawn, which is under fire. Okay, that was good play. Just again, just lazy from me. Bishop b7, maybe move the knight back to here. Yeah. Okay, I'm thinking that, you know, some kind of quick and intentional movements would be useful here. I'm liking this. I like this outpost. Hits the rook, hits an undefended pawn. It's also on a light square, so this bishop can't influence. I've got fairly good control over like d7, for example. Got 3 pieces looking at that. So this pawn's going nowhere, I don't think. Okay. Right, you can trade off if you wish. 3.5 minutes. Okay, but there, of course, all right. Now that isn't playable. Let's block it. Block it for now. You can pair up the 2 knights, maybe. Sometimes it's a case of not losing. Now f4 now hits the knight, but then the knight can take this pawn, which was defended previously and is now no longer defended. Bishop b7 still is an idea. Opponent's now approaching 3 minutes on the clock. So it's operation not lose is quite often the idea. Okay, let's move the knight. Move the knight to... Oh, hang on. Hang on. That's covered. That's covered. Okay, I can move the knight here. There you just lose your queen if you try and go in with mate. I could put my bishop on there. I could play my knight here, actually. It's got another route through. 2 minutes 45. Two minutes 30. How are you going to win? This is quite often something I find myself saying to my opponents. Okay, well, queen in, we just trade everything off. That is actually preventing that move, which is annoying. Let's just do this then for now. That's a check. Okay, I'm going to put the... How do I prevent this? Because if check now, I have to move onto the diagonal, and then this knight can move with a discovered check. So let's try this move. I know it drops the pawn, but I could then... Don't think the queen's going to come in. I think opponent needs their queen if they're going to win in the next 2 minutes. Not sure that pawn capture is going to swing it for them. Well, bishop is a bit vulnerable actually, because it's only got 2 squares. So if queen here, queen can't go there. Can't. Queen here. Okay. I think that's fine. I think I can just trade off now. Queen takes. Okay. And now my knight comes round, maybe? Definitely want my knight on a light square. Okay, this is unfortunate. Right, I'm going to move my king. 1 minute 25. Okay. You can't take the pawn because you lose the bishop. All right. That's a decent move. If I go here, rook takes, okay. I go here, bishop takes, yeah. Okay, so it's 100% it's a losing situation. I have to recapture there. But 1 minute 10. Okay, you're going to take here, I'm going to come here. One minute 5, please. Okay, push. Here we go in blitz style now. Okay, so the king's going to try and eliminate this pawn. My king is currently kind of stuck. This is my problem. rook takes, I can progress my king. Okay. It's going to come down to the wire. King here. There isn't a checkmate. You've got to... okay. 43 seconds. Goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. Now, I can't do this because that's mate. Rook here, I've got this, and then it's a case of just running away with the king. My opponent's got 30 seconds to checkmate me with queen and rook. Okay, that ladder mate doesn't quite work here. That is a check, you are correct. Okay. And that now works. Okay. Oh, queen here doesn't work. And that's mate. Okay, well done. That was fun. That was fun. But it was just that, you know, just one kind of momentary lapse where I simply just didn't calculate the pawn trade here. I took it too lightly. Opponent played it 88.5 and a 1950. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, but you can see here, you know, I was doing all well. This was a blunder. And that, yeah. So what should I have done here? Just push on. Well, there you go. And nice time scramble at the end, but my opponent did really, really well to see that through, and that was a missed win. But yeah, I could have forced mate, but hey. Okay, hope you enjoyed that, guys. Thanks for watching. See you later.